Taufeek. Good to meet you.
Hey, good to meet you too, Vivian.
Thank you so much for making the time to have this interview with USPAACC. And to get started, we're very excited. And I did some homework research on your company, and you and your mom, it's a family business. You are all doing a phenomenal job in expanding and growing this business. I'm really excited to ask you some of these questions. So thank you. Let's get started.
Absolutely. I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
Yeah. So Taufeek, so let's get started with how did this all happen? I know on your homepage you have a basic genesis explaining the start of the company, but if you can tell our audience again how it all happened.
Yeah, you bet. So my name is Taufeek Shah, founder and CEO of Lola's Fine Hot Sauce. Again, thank you so much for having me here. So the story of what Lola's Fine Hot Sauce is, it's actually a generational family recipe hot sauce from my mom, Lola. Actually, so my mom, let me go back. My mom's name is actually Carmelita, but Lola in the Philippines, where my mom is from, is actually a word for grandmother, and it's a figure of importance. And I'll get into that a little bit later in the story. But where the Lola story started is it started when my mom, she's an immigrant from the Philippines, came to Iowa, of all places, to take care of local farmers. She's a doctor, came here to take care of them during a time where there just wasn't any good healthcare. So she came here, took great care of them, and started her own medical practice and built her own business. And while doing that, my father, who is actually from Pakistan, my dad served in the US Army for over 30 years. So my dad was actively deployed most of my life. And so my mom started her own business, raised me and my sisters. And growing up every day, my mom would always make sure we had a warm, hot meal. And that warm, hot meal was always accompanied by this hot sauce that my mom had been making. And, I've been eating it my whole life. And then flash back now to 2015, I brought this hot sauce that my mom had been making into a food day at work. And people said it was the best hot sauce they'd ever had. I literally kind of transitioned out of that job that I was doing and, started selling hot sauce. I thought it was amazing. It gave me the courage and everything that I needed to get that feedback from all my coworkers saying it was amazing, and started Lola's. And we've since grown into 15,000 retailers and restaurants across the US and Canada.
That is phenomenal. That is phenomenal. And I love the name of your brand. So Lola means grandmother.
Correct. Yeah. So it means grandma. And the reason why I called it Lola's, first of all, it sounded better than Carmelita's. But second of all, the thing is, I was the first in my family, and I'm the youngest in my family to have a son, a child. And so growing up, it's a very big thing for us being an Asian family. Firstborn is, or, the lastborn is the firstborn. You know what I mean? Having the firstborn. And more importantly, it was a boy. So my mom was always involved in his life. And he grew to call my mom Lola all the time. And then we eventually grew to call her Lola. And then every time my sisters had kids or anybody, the name Lola just stuck. And so we adopted the name Lola instead of mom. And that's what we call her all the time.
I love it. It's very warm, and the name actually sticks. So it's easy to remember. Great for branding. Great for branding. So with your company, I know that you are all over the country. You can find Lolas over in Target, Whole Foods, even Costco. So what did it take? What was that secret to expand so quickly?
So, that's a very good question. So it's just perseverance, keeping after it. You know what I mean? I started this company back in 2015. It was just my mom and I, we were still working our full-time jobs. And on weekends, my mom and I were renting out a commercial space and making hot sauce. We would spend hours, and just make hot sauce. And I'd go the next week and go to every market I could find, farmers markets, events, boutiques, and try to sell my hot sauce. And, when we eventually decided to make that move into retail, because I always thought there's got to be more to just doing markets. You know what I mean? I want to get it to the masses. So, we partnered with Hy-Vee. Hy-Vee was our local regional grocery store here. Great, amazing grocery store. They were the first retailer to bring us on. So they brought us on. And then shortly after, Kroger brought us on down in Texas. And it was just kind of a crazy thing. And things just snowballed. So the biggest thing to bring this business to life is just true hustle, true perseverance, and determination. There have been so many challenges growing and scaling a business, because at the end of the day, our products are all natural. They're fresh. We're using real pepper. We're using real fresh garlic. We're working with local farmers here in the area to try to make sure we can sustain these ingredients. And so the biggest thing has been partnerships, having key strategic partnerships to help grow, where every relationship that we get involved with is a win-win. So that's really helped us grow.
So, I'm going to deviate a little bit with this interview because I find you so phenomenal. So then with this entrepreneurship, was this it's part of the family? You said it was generational. Do you think that this DNA is, family that you carry, the entrepreneurship spirit?
You know what? I would absolutely say so. So my mom is quite the entrepreneur herself. Growing up, I remember, so my mom, she first worked in a medical clinic in Waterloo, Iowa. I mean, it's a medium-sized town here for Iowa standards. And, my mom eventually had the opportunity to take over a medical practice in a smaller town where there were more farmers for her to take care of. And she did such a good job and did such amazing things with the community that the community wanted to see her and not the main doctor. Eventually, that main doctor retired. My mom said, you know what? I'm going to buy this practice. I'm going to figure it out. So my mom worked a deal with him to take over the practice, and she built that herself. So my mom has always been an entrepreneur. And I think, with my mom's hustle and mentality, she passed that on to me. My dad's kind of the same way. He's not really the entrepreneurial type. I mean, so my dad, he's also a doctor too, but he was 30 years in the Army. And when the Army tells you got to go, you really have to listen to him, so
That's right.
he was serving us and protecting us here. And, so a little bit of a different dynamic, but my dad was always smart. So being able to be instilled with both the wisdom from my mom and my dad, plus getting that extra hustle and entrepreneur grind from my mom really kicked in. So I would definitely say, yes, it's a family thing.
That's fantastic. Taufeek, just speaking with you, I can feel your passion. I can feel your passion.
Thank you. I love this. I love what we do.
Well, coming right back, then as a family business, what's it like to run a family business versus you think a typical corporation or a company where you just hire outside of family? But what's it like to work with your mom as a family business? What are the challenges?
It's very surprising. My mom and I, we get along so well. I mean, my mom, she is always that person that's the enabler, the encourager to say, hey, keep going, don't be scared. I remember when I first got my deal with Kroger, I'm like, Mom, they're going to put us in 250 grocery stores. I don't even know how I'm going to handle this. And she's like, go figure it out. You know what I mean? Like that's what she is, and she's like, if you need help, I'm here to help you. So, her and I work together and it's fantastic. We're always in constant communication every day, every week. And a lot of the great things that come from our company, our small business, are derived from my mom. Because everything that we produce, whether it's our hot sauces or the new items that we've launched, such as the salsas or the Bloody Mary mix, or we have a couple of new items as well, those are all my mom's innovations. They're items that she takes classic family recipes that she's grown up with using those classic Filipino ingredients, which is garlic and vinegar and nice sweet and savory umami flavors, and getting that together. It all comes from her creativity. And those are recipes that are very unique and innovative. So she plays a very big integral part of our company, and it's amazing working with her. She's an incredible woman, and she is actually the face of the company. I'm just the guy in the background.
You're modest, but she sounds like a remarkable person. So so speaking of being a family business, I know that you also have a restaurant. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so we have a restaurant called Lola's Fine Kitchen, which is a great thing. So my sister Hannah, so she is also an entrepreneur. So she ran her own hair salon for a while. As she got older, she's running that salon took a lot out of her. Not being able to see her family, being on her feet all the time. Little did she know she would be on her feet even more. But the idea was great because we've created an amazing restaurant. So my sister came to me and she saw the successes that my mom and I were having together and said, Mom, your recipes are great. I know how to cook all your recipes. What if I take these two delicious cuisines, which is Filipino food and Pakistani food that both you and Dad have shown me how to make, fuse them together and launch it as a restaurant that's a fast, casual, quick service using fresh, all natural ingredients. And we're like, yeah, let's do it. So, we scrounged up whatever capital we had together and invested that. And that is truly a family business with three-way equal ownership between my mom, sister, and I. But that is truly a remarkable restaurant because it fuses two cuisines together to create delicious, like, for example, roti tacos. So, you think of your standard taco. In Pakistan, we have a bread that we eat with our food called roti, which is a thinner version of a naan made with a durum wheat flour. It's more flavorful, wheat based. It's delicious. So we took that shell and put delicious dishes in there like tandoori chicken, or, you could get adobo sisig pork, anything like that. That's a traditional Filipino staple. Build your own bowl or put it in a taco, right? So
Yeah, I'm so enjoying this conversation and my mouth is watering as well. So I have a selfish question. When will you be opening in Houston?
we've thought about that. So over the past couple of years, last year we actually were voted, according to Travel Network, one of the top 20 Filipino restaurants in the country. Granted, there's not that many. There might be a couple, maybe 1,000 or so. But the fact is, we came in number one, and we're in Ankeny, or not number one, sorry, in the top 20, and we're in Ankeny, Iowa. So it's just an interesting thing to see that diversity within Iowa, because Iowa, I mean, I love Iowa. I'm born and raised. This is my hometown. It's not as diverse as it could be. And, I think we're putting Iowa on the map to bring some more diversity here, which is amazing. So it's very unusual to see that from here. And we're very proud and excited to tout that.
Definitely. You're bringing something very creative, like you said, fusion with the Pakistani and Filipino cuisines together. I mean, I can't imagine how delicious that is. I'm sure it is. I can't wait. Please do consider moving or opening a location here in the South.
I will. I love Houston. It's a good time. A lot of great restaurants down there too.
We enjoy eating. So with our audience, there are a lot of aspiring entrepreneurs. So what advice would you offer for inspiring entrepreneurs out there listening to our discussion?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say, keep hustling and keep grinding. The biggest thing is never giving up. They're always going to have challenges every day, whether it's when you're growing a company, there are growing pains, right? When you butt heads with somebody, or when something doesn't go your way, you can't let one thing drag you down. And I think the biggest thing is perseverance and to be tough, because, your business is the way that you shape it. And if you lead with integrity and respect and responsibility and treat everybody well and do the right thing, your business is going to grow. And, I would say another key thing is to have a mentor. Growing up, my mom has been a mentor, but most recently I was part of a national campaign with Lowe's executive team, Lowe's, the home improvement retailer, and Damon John from Shark Tank, to find the next best product in America. And I was a finalist for season 1, and they featured me on their online platform and TV. And we got an opportunity to connect with Damon John and have him be our mentor. So I would say it's definitely important to have a mentor and really keep on growing and persevering through any challenge.
Excellent. Congratulations on that as well.
Thank you. It's been a wild ride this year.
Yes, it was. So, okay, one more question, Taufeek, and that is with the restaurant and the brand, the hot sauce, with the Filipino and Pakistani heritage, and this month being the Filipino, Asian Filipino Heritage Month. Yeah, is there something that you could help us learn more about the community, since we're recognizing the Filipinos this month?
Yeah. Absolutely. So, a couple of great things, Philippines, it's a great place. I've been to Manila a handful of times. Keep in mind, I'm born and raised in Iowa, but my mom was able to take me back. Our culture is one of those cultures where we're all centered around family. We're centered around family, culture, delicious food, and just really enjoying other people and respecting other people. So given that this month is, Filipino, I think it's Asian Pacific Islander Heritage Month, having that opportunity to highlight Filipino and diverse businesses, I think, is a big thing. In fact, UPS actually selected us to highlight us through their Unstoppable campaign, where they're highlighting local Asian businesses. And they actually picked ours to be the headliner of that. So there's promotions going on with that. So I know, being part of USPAACC, I think having the opportunity to highlight more businesses that are growing beyond the traditional Fortune 200 or 500 companies, something that are these small businesses that are up and coming, because they truly are the backbone of America. And us being, first generation from our folks, being able to, second generation to be here and grow our family business and share our family stories. I think it's a lot of pride. And if one thing I would encourage is to show that, and within the business that you have, let that be known.
Wow, thank you for that. Thank you for that. Absolutely. I've been to some of the restaurants here in town, and I just find the community to be very welcoming and kind and warm. So, and I hope one day I get to visit the Philippines.
We're the same way.
The photos, and it looks beautiful over there.
We're the same way, and we love to eat.
Then I'd be perfect fit.
Yes, you would be great.
So, okay, well, thank you so much for this time. Is there anything you'd like to add before we wrap up?
Yeah, being part of this organization with USPAACC has been amazing. And, being able to showcase our family recipes to the masses and being able to share my mom's recipes is a big thing for us. And we appreciate everybody's support that has tried Lola's. And if you would like to learn more about Lola's, you can definitely find us at Lola's Fine Hot Sauce on Facebook or go to our website. But we would be honored for you to try our family recipes. And we thank everybody for supporting us.
Yes, thank you for that. And everyone, when you visit their social media pages, your mouth is going to water because I see pictures of the food, great photos. And I actually wanted to cover a little bit more about social media, but I know we're running out of time. Hopefully we'll get to come back and speak to you more on your marketing strategies because they seem intact. You guys are doing a fantastic job.
Awesome. Thank you, Vivian. Appreciate it.
Thank you.